And welcome back again, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting episode of the Lost Podcast of Titan, a father and son's slow, trudging journey through Star Trek and sci-fi. Where some of these Star Trek episodes, I don't know what they were smoking or how they got. Like, I sometimes wonder to myself, I can't be a TV writer. These people have ideas. But then I look at these episodes and I'm like, no, they had zero ideas. They just ripped off earlier episodes or, got so fucking pretentious, threw in some Shakespeare, called it a day. The 60s must have been a gloriously easy time to make money writing TV.
Okay,
They were just taking anything.
I want to throw something at you regarding
Go
that.
ahead.
Let's
Yeah.
say that Star Trek had not been created in the 60s. Let's say that Roddenberry was still alive now, and
All right.
now he was tossing Star Trek to the networks. Do you think that if the 60s Star Trek began now, it would gather the fan following that it built in the 60s?
Uh, if the, hmm, no, because it's different issues. Like if you do a one-for-one remake, like some of the elements would work. Like I think Spock would work in any generation, really. Also Kirk, like the Holy Trinity dynamic. Some of the episodes might work. Spacey would be good. Balance of Terror, I think, works in anyone, but the Hippy Dippy episodes, that one is right out.
Oh my!
Uh, the Naked Time would work well with a pandemic. Like the simple fact that if the motherfucker had just kept his glove on and didn't touch anything, and then like shove it right up his nose and taste it, and do other unspeakable acts to it, that would have just taken care of the entire episode.
The Mark of
But
Gideon, the third season episode, I think would work even better considering the pandemic situation.
we'll wait breathless anticipation for that one. But it would not get greenlit. It is too expensive. Uh,
Really?
yeah,
I would think that, for instance, the Expanse is much more
and
expensive.
look at it, and look how hard it has been to try and find homes. Like it's already been canceled almost twice. So
Okay, granted.
it's and like the sci-fi series and the expensive series are always lost leaders to the networks. Like Game of Thrones didn't make HBO any money as a pure result of Game of Thrones. It was getting people on to their subscription services.
Ah,
Uh, yeah. So I don't think Star Trek, because I mean, look at they have the ability and the option to throw money at Star Trek. They're not making Star Trek. They're making really shit fan fiction of Discovery and Picard, where they just completely ignore everything that had come before. It's like, eh.
oh, okay. Well,
What do you think?
I think you made a good point. It's not just the writing and the production; it's the whole dynamics of the business now as compared to then. I mean, back in the there were a ton of series back in the '60s that no one in their right mind would think of trying to produce today.
Well, yeah. Well, some of them were blatantly racist, so
Oh, I thought I was going to say some of them were just blatantly stupid.
well that too. What was it? My Mother the Car, I think was
My
one.
mother the car. I was going to mention that. I don't even think Green Acres would make it
Oh,
on.
some rich assholes come to the country to live it up, yokel it. Like no, they would be eaten alive. Now, okay,
Right.
all right, all right, all right. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to say this because
Go ahead.
normally, uh, I really would wish reality TV would just be taken out back and shot. But I understand the dynamic of we just throw a pittance. All we need is a film crew and some like people to film and a good editor, and we can cut drama. And all you need is that to work once out of 100, and you make billions and shit. And that's done a lot of harm to TV. But I say this, but I would like to see a reality TV show of Star Trek, like some bitchy drama, cheating, secret drug habits, etc., etc.
A reality series, how could you get away with depicting it in space or as science fiction if it's a reality TV series?
No, I mean like you. Okay, the gimmick is it's a reality TV show set in the 23rd century. Like whatever constitutes the media in the 23rd century, which I've noticed doesn't exist. They never mention I need to go see this like they'll sometimes mention a new holovid or something, but they're interacting with that. But they never say there's this new book coming out, or I need to go see this new movie, or I wonder what's going on in the news, and watch some news person give it's always very dry. I would like to see the 23rd century version of the media doing trashy reality TV.
Well, they do kind of touch on that in Next Generation and also Deep Space Nine. In Deep Space Nine, there was an occasional mention to an ongoing book series called Vulcan Love Slaves, which I would very much enjoy getting a peek at.
Uh-huh. That's not okay. No, I mean yes, but no. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're here to watch Star Trek, and you want to watch Star Trek with us for reasons I can't quite fathom. But we are watching Star Trek episode The Changeling. So go ahead and put us on pause and pull up your favorite physical media or streaming service, and come back to us when you're ready. Welcome back. We'll go ahead and get this started in 3, 2, 1, play. Ta-da! Oh my god, it's going to crash into the camera! Ah! I'm going to turn this up a little bit. Where's my volume? There we go. No, they don't.
Maybe they're asleep.
What did I say? Oh, damn. So 4 billion people just bit it.
Yeah.
I wonder, okay, have you ever noticed how when we're in the future and there's these large populated planets, they always keep it in the billions and shy away from the trillions, which I think would be kind of more accurate, I guess.
I think people in that time period would be much more sensible about the growth of populations. That's just, my toss out.
No, I'm saying that there'll be some planets here who will probably be in the trillions.
Yes.
Ultra warp speeds. Yo, blonde yeoman. Stop.
Really?
Move. Breathe.
Is she a mannequin?
Oh shit.
It's V'ger.
That is not V'ger. And this isn't the Klingon science expedition.
Well, I got the blonde yeoman to move.
Oh, there she goes.
I wonder if anyone was ever injured doing a scene like that, slamming up against the consoles or falling to the floor.
I would imagine so. I remember I had a friend of mine come up with a. Oh Lord. He did a super cut of all the times the consoles would explode, and he's like, the Federation really needs to invest in some surge protectors or something like that.
Insulation.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, it wasn't just limited to Star Trek. If you watch any Irwin Allen series, there were constant control room explosions.
I'm still just amazed that the consoles still work after they have exploded.
Yes.
Which I can assure you, working with IT, that is not how that shit works. If something pops or goes boom, that's it. You can't just start pushing buttons and everything still works. And once again, we have Scotty on the bridge.
Well, we can say, fortunately for us, or else we might not have survived the blast of whatever it was that hit us.
I still think it. Oh, Mr. Linky motherfucker. Where's Chekhov?
They
I was
called. They
promised the
called him
last of the
in.
Linky motherfuckers.
They called Chekhov in because they realized they made a mistake, and he's not originally lanky enough to fit the qualifications for a Starship Navigator.
There's a debate. There's notes going back and forth. The viewers want lankiness. Oh, here we go again.
And also tell Starfleet that we're going to try and steer away.
No, but now I'm noticing like they put him on the bridge so that they don't have to cut away to the engine room. They don't have to do the whole, you know,
Yeah,
they're calling him on the intercom.
I mean, we will see the engineering room in this episode, but that could have been just a nice cost-saving gimmick.
Open fire. Oh, he's taking a page out of the SS Cynical Bastard. Oh, that also reminds me, like apparently it's canon that Scotty built most of the Enterprise, like he was part of the building crew, and therefore he made the spec manuals for the Enterprise, and he purposely undervalued the output, the efficiencies, everything, so that he could do the whole, I'm able to push it up to 105%, Captain. Oh, Scotty, you're a miracle worker. Tee-hee. where it's actually 100%. But they like Scott's just like, so the more I think about it, Scott's a good engineer, but he's kind of an asshole. And LaForge is a superior engineer.
Well, if that's actually what Scotty did, I hope to God he covered his tracks, because Starfleet would frown if that came to light.
I think it is canon. It was hinted at in Star Trek: The Next Generation episode Relics, where, you know, Scotty suddenly appears from a time transporter, whatever, and there's the Dyson sphere, which is never mentioned again.
Right. One would think they'd really look into that, literally.
Exactly. Also, in Star Trek Star Trek, the first movie with V'ger,
Yeah.
and the whole they're transferring data and shit.
Yeah.
Like, what happened to the data? Nothing changed. Like, you can't have the great revelations and no enlightenment, which seems to be a recurring theme with Star Trek.
Yeah, well, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. That's what essentially, what you're saying.
Which is why the Romulans are superior. Or slow it down.
They're not talking to a Starfleet vessel.
Yeah. Like we'll just. I mean, I love Uhura, but she can just go back to her console there for a second. Open fire. Shields up. Phasers on kill. You would think that would already be tied in.
Really?
I mean, they're. Oh shit.
She's cutting. Okay. She was cutting power to the computer, or was she just cutting power to the translation function?
I don't know. Well, I mean, it's currently translated. Yeah, no. Yes. Yes, you do have lots of choices here.
You could keep it in the transporter beam and just disperse the entire package. End of problem.
And thus, the episode ends on the USS Cynical Bastard. Well done, Captain. See, the captain of the SS Cynical Bastard, the Klingons run to fight Kirk, but they don't want to face the captain of the SS Cynical Bastard. You can wave.
Bad idea.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh, well done, Scotty. Well done.
Well, right. I mean, give him a bonus.
Why don't you go back to the bridge, have a seat with Uhura. God damn.
I always get upset by the fact that neither NASA nor SpaceX or anyone else have launched a probe, an unmanned satellite, and have called it Nomad.
Yeah, well, they could have, yeah, like launch another Voyager type probe. Like imagine making Voyager today.
Yeah. Nice effects work here. I don't think I've ever seen a wire in this episode.
Well, it's because that it's being hung up by the antenna on top. See, you can see how it wiggles because it's just swinging back and forth from the wire.
Want to reach out and just push it a bit, make it swing some more.
Actually, that's pretty good. Holy shit! And of course, it's also a little dark.
Yeah.
And now it's conveniently on a table.
When I was trying to blow you to bits.
This really is a motion picture really did rip off this episode, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, there are a lot of people who their subtitle for the first motion picture is "Where Nomad Has Gone Before."
And let's go back to the transporter room. We are walking. We are walking.
We're getting those controls positioned into the correct settings. So apparently it was just the translation function of the computer that was affected, not the computer itself, or else Spock wouldn't be able to do this. Down, doggy.
Well, let's talk more about the accident while we go to the transporter room. Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. He doesn't know what's going on. Wait. Oh, Jesus Christ. The fuck? Like, they didn't even give him a full red shirt. It's like, here's a red jumper. You're not going to be using it long. Never mind the bloodstains.
And in the background, you suddenly hear a blood-curdling scream. Essentially peaceful?
And what do you mean lectures as in period, as plural? Dude, what are you doing? What? No, no, no. Just, did you just keep doing what you're doing? Just,
Really?
oh my god.
In fact, go to the other side of the room. There you go.
Well, that's that's symbolic.
And up on the bridge, someone's turning to Uhura says, "We've talked about this before, Uhura." That's the episode director Mark Daniels as Jackson Roykirk.
and then launch it into space.
Can you imagine for a moment the odds of Nomad encountering a Federation ship that had someone whose name was nowhere near Jackson Roykirk?
Or what if, like the Kirk was some like low-level, petty technician, third class, in charge of making sure the chicken vindaloo tubes were properly cleaned. I'm still confused. He built the perfect thinking machine and then just launched it into space.
He wanted to give, it's like the Mars probes that we're currently sending. Each lander has more sophisticated computer than the one before, can therefore uh, expand its functions and such. Jackson Roykirk apparently knew that they were going to send this probe out into deep space beyond the influence of Earth, and so he wanted to make it as autonomous as possible.
Also, I love how no one has reported in that there's a giant floating machine just
Yeah.
down the hallway, you know?
And all the sounds being made on the Enterprise, and it manages to focus on Uhura's singing.
Yeah, well, you know, convenience of plot.
Yeah.
Now do Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah. Or RSPECT.
Oof.
A please might help.
Or you think music would have been in the databank scans, you know?
Yeah.
Also, it must have been fun just, wiring up flashing lights inside the chassis there.
I kind of wonder how much the whole prop weighed. Keep on knocking, but you can't come in.
What didn't I do? Didn't you see my antenna?
Oh, God. Oh.
We have gone from Star Trek to Demon Seed.
Thank you. I was thinking of that movie.
Which was a weird movie and a weirder book.
Yes. And why didn't you follow them to the sick bay?
Well, because there's nothing he could do.
Oh, true. A
All just
hyperencephalogram.
happens to be on that one disc too. Just that's actually pretty damn good. I ain't seen shit. And I'm like, we've seen wires before, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially in these remastered editions.
Yeah. Yeah. And you think if they, digitally remove the wires, they would have done that for the rest of the episodes.
Yeah.
Self-maintenance. Now this is kind of silly, to be honest.
Yeah. Two-man surveillance.
Well, I mean, he doesn't want to, go overboard. Get some extras. Those red shirts aren't cheap.
Oh, okay.
Listen, asshole.
Really?
We already have one asshole on the ship.
Considering how long Scott's brain has been inactive, that's actually rather impressive.
Mm-hmm.
You can do that, can't you? Are they
And
really going to
Nomad
do that
shoots
here?
this. Really?
Oh boy,
Lord.
we're doomed.
Prepare the
You,
glove.
really?
Wait, what? Wait, what? Hold on. But what about memories? So hold
That's
on.
been a source of discussion since
Like,
this
yeah,
episode.
hold up. Uh, I think Uhura died in this episode. Oh my god. Like, what tapes are they giving her? What re-education tapes?
Maybe even a Vulcan.
Nomad, I am the Kirk.
That's right.
Also, wait, if people can learn this quickly, that also, brings up, uh, you know, questions on how education actually works in the Federation. And also, how does she know Swahili? Did they go through Swahili first before they learned how to read English?
The theory is that her acquired education, like in school, was erased. Not her. She was born. She learned how to speak Swahili before she went to school.
Well, yeah, but she was still that Swahili language is still acquired.
Yes, and I should point out here that Nichelle Nichols got into a fight with director Mark Daniels concerning bringing Swahili into the episode. Mark Daniels wanted Uhura to be speaking nothing but English, but Nichelle Nichols held her ground, wanting to have Uhura speak some actual Swahili. So they brought a Swahili language expert to teach uh, Nichols a few words. But yeah, this is a rather. By the time we get to the next episode, Uhura's back at her usual position with full knowledge.
Exactly, yeah. So then, like, what if someone wants to do something else different? Like, how difficult is it to become an engineer when all you have to do is, read some of these tapes and suddenly you have all the knowledge?
Yeah, and Christine Chappell just remarked how she has an aptitude for mathematics, which I think would be a great start for an engineering education. Or, Kirk says, "Hey, we're low on yeomans here." Hint.
Here's a blonde wig.
Oh, that's really desperate. That's
It seems to be the requirement.
yeah, granted. Have you ever seen the Jerry Anderson series Joe 90?
No.
Well, the premise was that Joe's father had invented a machine which that would allow them to record knowledge from living people and then transfer it directly into Joe's brain, which I understand probably has no meaning here. It's just something that bubbled up to the surface of my head.
The only good series he ever made was was Terrorhawks.
Yes,
Also,
Jerry Anderson fans, contact us at lostpodcastoftitan
at
at
gmail.com.
gmail.com if you want to tell my son that he's full of garbanzo beans, although I do agree about Terrahawks.
Also, like, share, subscribe, and I'm also a little bit. How does he mind meld with the machine? It's impossible. There's no nerves. What is he reading?
Apparently, Nomad's computer brain was much more sophisticated.
It doesn't matter how sophisticated it is. It's not biological.
Are
The
you
idea of the
certain?
mind.
Could
Okay.
Jackson Roykirk had
Oh Lord.
like a cyborg uh, uh, human brain tissue melded with electronic mechanisms? I wonder how much effort it would have taken to pull Nomad loose from the string that's holding it up.
And destroy. Well, I mean, also, he's not touching any. Like, there's no nerves there, and I don't think there's any cyborg organic material.
It makes you wonder if he could do this with a machine, and if they ever got locked in a room or something, why couldn't Spock mind meld with the lock and cause it to open or something?
Or why does he mind meld with the computer on the Enterprise?
Exactly.
I'm totally going to mind meld with the ship's computer now.
Well, and remember later on he would try and mind meld with V'ger.
Well, once again, this is a motion picture was a ripoff of the Nomad Changeling episode.
Yeah. Now that's an interesting function. That would make sense. And Spock didn't know that?
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it's not 1950s automobile minutia, so it's out of his wheelhouse.
And on that, they're just going to walk off and leave.
Of course. That was a real cop-out special effect. And the computer doesn't recognize that there is now two less life signs.
Good question. Was the Enterprise computer constantly monitoring all life functions on board the ship?
And everything is so fucking dark wherever it goes.
We've been doing with a lot less lighting in these recent episodes.
Well, I think they're trying to hide the strings.
Oh, that's in the thought. I am Nomad.
Oh. Holy shit! Why aren't we in transwarp uh, territory here? Isn't it where if you hit warp 10, then you are simultaneously everywhere in the universe at once or something?
Well, could Nomad also affect the structural mass of the ship? Doink.
And open fire. So, what's the underlying premise of this episode? Like, was there a great fear that the probes we were sending out and the satellites would come back and kill us or something?
I sort of question your notion that every episode has a underlying premise.
Well, it's
It's,
because every goddamn documentary I've seen sucks the dick of Gene Roddenberry. Oh, he's so visionary. He told the stories that needed to be told. Oh, it was so subvert. Yeah, no, I'm not seeing it. So I'm not the one making this supposition. It's pretty much everyone, every documentary, every glorious and excessius deo of Star Trek: The Original Series.
well, all right. Do you accept the fact that
Hmm.
Roddenberry's overall vision was superior to the vision or lack thereof of the people who have followed him?
Uh, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, welcome to Production Philosophy 101 here.
I'm not talking about production philosophy. I'm talking about what's the underlying subversive message we're trying to get across to America.
Watch out what you send into space,
Watch out what you send into space.
because it might, come back to bite you.
And that is 4 people dead. Oh, wait. 4 billion and 4.
I'm kind of surprised that was the extent of Kirk's order. I mean, it did work before. Why did he think it would work now?
Exactly.
Sneak, 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 sneak.
And no one's noticing. Like, what the fuck is this bullshit here?
Mind meld with the
Oh,
lock.
well.
Yeah, we'll just have to re-educate her as well. Take a guess.
Womp womp. Well, you think it would have noticed since it noticed everyone else's imperfections.
And we have our friend the lizard on the wall again.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There was some prop guy who's probably really proud of that, like teehee.
Now, was he dead or just knocked unconscious?
It's a good question. I don't think he's dead because usually when Nomad does the whole, killing thing, he vaporizes. But then again, he didn't vaporize Scotty.
True.
Well, also it recognizes the Enterprise is also imperfect, so why isn't it destroying the Enterprise as a whole?
Nomad feels that Enterprise is less imperfect than the biological infestations and can be salvaged to suit its purposes. Now, see, we've just opened a can of worms here.
Yeah. Also, Babylon 5 ripped this episode off too in their first season. Well, kind of. The whole everything that is not perfect must be destroyed.
It is amazing how, with just a bit of carefully discussed sophistry, Kirk has been able to discombobulate sophisticated computer systems.
Pretty much.
Spock, you're about as useful as tits on a snake. You know that?
Or just, transport it and disperse the energy.
Yeah. Which, of course, they could have done in the beginning.
Well, I mean, they're not members of the excellent crew of the SS Cynical Bastard.
And plus, that would have robbed us of the opportunity to hear Nichelle Nichols speak Swahili.
Kabloom!
Oh, please.
Seriously,
You
it
didn't.
wasn't that impressive. Jesus Christ. So it's like in the course of a day, she's gone from, I guess, what, newborn infant to college level.
And yet, people still have to go through years. Starfleet Academy is still a 4-year course of study.
Exactly. Yeah.
So maybe her knowledge was erased, but the neural pathways in her brain that held the knowledge were still in place. So that simplified learning.
Yeah. Maybe.
I'm tiptoeing a lot here. I do understand that.
Yeah, I was about to say you're inferring a lot that wasn't inferred.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But if I
was all
didn't
right
do
of an
that,
episode.
I wouldn't have married your mother.
I thought she proposed to you.
Yes, but
Yeah.
it didn't happen on our first date.
Oh, well, get to work then, sir.
Let's see, halfway through September, and she proposed to me February the following year. So it took that long.
There you go. Yeah, it's faster than I got to it, so. But, yeah. So our next episode is Mirror Mirror.
Yes.
Cool. But what did you think of the episode?
I don't like it as much as I used to. After
Yeah,
discussing
I was
things.
excited to see it, but I mean, it wasn't that good.
Yeah, well, I think we'll have a better time with Mirror Mirror. And I say that in a positive, not in an
That's the one where we
alternative
have-
factor.
Well,
way
that's
of
the one
thinking.
with the evil Spock mustache, though, so we should be
Yes.
all right. But we shall let y'all both go. Both of our viewers. We'll let both of
tell
our
the tru-
listeners
tell-
go.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
But we will catch y'all later. Next episode will be Mirror Mirror, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day.
And y'all behave.